Right now we're on the hill of Azekah, which is, according to the scriptures, the place where the Philistines camped out before the battle of David and Goliath. Now, Azekah, or this hill, is probably actually where they would have arrived first when they were coming to battle, and where perhaps they would have kept their observation posts. However, the majority of the soldiers, as the battle began to commence, would have moved down to this smaller hill behind me. And then you can see between that hill and the hill behind it, there's a very small, very fertile green valley there, which is probably the valley where the battle between David and Goliath would have taken place. And the soldiers of the Philistines would have been on this small hill, and the soldiers of the Israelites on the small hill on the other side of that valley. From here we can actually see the brook, which we know that David took stones from the brook when he came against Goliath with his sling. And we can see that brook here, and then it runs up alongside that road, which I doubt we can see in the video, and then towards some satellite dishes over there. And so somewhere on that side of the brook there, beyond the valley, is where David would have gotten the stones when he came to fight Goliath. Now, the amazing thing about the David and Goliath battle is that Saul was a Benjamite. And we know from Judges that it was the Benjamites who were so precise with their slinging ability that they were able to hit a hare from a great distance. And so Saul was the Benjamite who should have been the one who was best with the sling, but it was David who was anointed by God to become king, and so he used what was perhaps Saul's weapon of choice to kill this giant who had been mocking God and the Israelites for so long. Now, after David killed Goliath, the scriptures say that he went and he took his sword out of his sheath. And this is significant because apparently Goliath had so underestimated David's ability that he didn't even ever draw his sword. And so David killed him before Goliath had ever done anything to prepare himself for battle. He just thought this boy was such an insignificant foe. After David killed Goliath and cut his head off, we're told that the Philistines fled, and some fled in one direction and some fled in another. To my left is the city of Gath, and that's where many of them would have fled as they left that valley, came through this valley, and headed toward Gath. The others would have come off here to my right, and we can actually see some of the ruins of a small city which the scriptures mention them fleeing to, and then even after that city they would have fled, and again through this valley and around toward the secondary one.